Hi, this is Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography. This is where we talk about all things real estate photography related. So today we're going to do a remake of a video I've done several times, and it is by far for me the single best technique in all of real estate photography. One that will help get better pictures, will make your day easier, help you use less equipment, and make your day a lot faster. So before we get into this video, I want to thank Adorama for sponsoring my YouTube channel. If you're going to go buy something, go to Adorama. Great customer support, great return policy, great equipment, great prices. But use that affiliate link in the show notes because it helps me make these free, yes, free tutorials. How great is that? I'm helping you for free. So help me out too. Okay, so let's go right into Lightroom Classic and I'll show you how it's done. Now we're in Lightroom Classic and let's get right to it. So here is an image, and this is a butler pantry in a really nice house, but it shows you a good example that we have the foreground area, which we need light. We have a middle area, we have a hallway, and we have a back hallway here. So to use lights for everything would be quite involved, and I just didn't want to take that time. One of the best reasons for letting the ambient do the heavy lifting is because lighting hallways and closets can be very, very time consuming, and the outcome if you put a flash there just may not be worth all that extra effort. Okay, so now let's just go to my flash shot and see what I've got here. Now just so you can see it, it's ISO 500, 18 millimeters, f8, and it's 1/30th of a second. So I've got, I've got fairly good exposure on my my shot in the foreground, but I've got the main issue is there's no light there. This is kind of flashy. They got a little bit of flash shine on the walls. So I've identified the issues. So let's just get started. I'm going to now do my full bump for my A7 III, and that's the same thing as my special sauce. And you can find this preset on our Shooting Spaces podcast page at shootingspaces.net under, I think you just search for presets and you'll find all of my presets there. But they're easy to make, and here it is. That's all it is, so you can see it yourself. Okay, so now I've added that and it looks much, much better, but I still have the issues. But I'm just going to leave this the way it is, because I want to make these pictures really fast and easy and get home to have more fun. So let's go to the ambient image. And now I got a few more issues with the ambient image. And remember, I'm going to highlight both of these and I'm going to go back and forth. What do we need? You've got to identify the issues. So I've got glare. I need a little bit of exposure here. I need a lot of exposure here. I've got flash glare, or it's overexposed from the flash here, underexposed here. So let's go now to the ambient image. And the first thing I got to do is to prep the ambient image to fit the flash image. Okay, that's the whole key. And you can see here the walls are kind of a goldish color. So one tip I'm going to do is I'm going to use my white balance eyedropper tool right there in Lightroom, and I'm going to go over here to the molding. Try that, because I know it's white. And let's go there. Hey, what do you know? It looks pretty good. It really, really helped it. But what I need to do now is go a little bit further. I'm going to add a little more green, just a little bit, and I think that's going to make the color match better. Yeah, I think that's going to make it better. Okay, I'm going to make it a little warmer. Just a little bit, and that should do it right there. Okay, actually I'm going to use my ambient yellow out preset. There we go. And the ambient yellow out is also on my Shooting Spaces page, but basically this is all it is right here, and it takes out some of these colors. So you can just screenshot that and make your own presets, or you can purchase them on the Shooting Spaces page. Okay, so that looks really good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit these in Photoshop as layers in Photoshop. And I just want to say that this may seem complicated to you, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And I have the luxury of having so much experience doing this so many years with thousands of homes. I know what it takes to do while I'm shooting. But the really important thing is you've got to be thinking about your shooting, your end product, your editing while you're setting up and shooting. And it just gets faster and easier. So don't worry at the beginning. If you're moving up from HDR and you want to start using lights to get a better product, it gets a lot faster in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending on how much you shoot. Okay, so let me highlight both these images. And I've got all this on all my videos, but I'll do it for the first image. You highlight both the images, and now I want to auto-align, go up into Edit, Auto-Align Layers, because we're doing a composite, and they can't be out of alignment. Auto, and I'm just go, okay. There we go. And you can see this little white border here. Hold on a second. This little white border there, you can see that is a misalignment. So, and you got to remember when you edit it, you got to then bring it in Lightroom, and before you send it away, you've got to crop out this little white border. It will be there. Okay, so now I've got the ambient image on top, and I know it's ambient image because the ambient image I take first, and it will be the always be the top image because these things come into Lightroom and Photoshop in chronological order. The first image is always on top. And I always shoot my ambient shot first because if I was to shoot my flash shot, it would be very dark and I couldn't see I couldn't compose with the proper exposure. I couldn't expose for the room because I couldn't see it. So I do my ambient shot first, and then I always base off of my flash shot. So I'll show you what I mean. So I got my ambient image on top, and now I'm going to make a layer mask. So what I'm basically doing with the layer mask is the layer mask is going to be going over the flash shot will go over and mask the ambient shot. Okay, so I'm holding down, going to add a layer mask, holding down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and clicking Add a Layer Mask. And it brings up the flash shot. So basically, the flash shot, the ambient shot is just under this shot. And when I use white paintbrush, I got white paintbrush, and my paintbrush is at 0 hardness. I've got normal, 100% opacity. Flow is 20%. If you're new to this, you may want to go down to 10%. It takes a little longer to mask in, but it makes it a little easier for you. I've just been doing it so long, I'm pretty good at it. So, and I'm in normal blending mode, okay? Normal, masking blending mode. Okay, so I'm now going to go in with my paintbrush, and the first thing I want to do is get that exposure up in there. So I'm going to mask away the top layer and mask in, reveal the layer beneath it. Okay, there we go. And I think you'll agree right there, I could have, it saved a lot of time. I'm now going to get some of this glare out of the way. I'm going to get some of this glare out of the way. There we go. So it's all, I'm masking in the ambient. I'm revealing the ambient. There we go. And I'm going to add in, I'm going to make this a little smaller. Oops, I've got to go back to, there you go. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller by using the bracket keys. And let's just mask out that. And there I go. There you go. How quick and how easy is that? I don't know what to tell you, but I'm just going to show you what the difference is. So I'm going to take away all of the ambient, and there you go. Let the ambient do the heavy lifting. And it gets a little bit of time to learn how to really adjust your colors to make them match, but it's really easy, and it will get better, faster. It will be so much better for you eventually. Okay, now let's close this out. I'm not going to save it. Now let's go to this image. This is a bigger, more complex image of a kitchen. And I didn't want to, if I was just going to use lights, I would have to light this foreground area, this background area here, and this whole big room here, and even this hallway here, if I didn't want to let the ambient do the heavy lifting. But what I want to do now is I'm just going to take my flash image, and I'm going to add, now watch how nice this full bump or special sauce is. And I have a video, special sauce, so you can go check that out. I use it on import. So I'm just going to go to the full bump A7 III or the special sauce. 1, 2, 3. And it just makes the picture so much better to me. But you know what? To you, you may not like it. So that's okay. And I've got my image just about where I want it right now. Now I'm going to go down to my ambient image. And let's look at the ambient image. Okay. I am at ISO 520 millimeters, f8, and 1/5 of a second. Okay. So that's pretty slow, but every room is different. Okay. But I needed to expose for this area here. Okay. Now, what I need to do is fix this colors, although it's not bad. I'm just going to go here, white dropper, white balance eyedropper. I'm going to go down to the white of this baseboard, and it didn't change much. So I think the colors are okay here. Let's just compare between the flash. And you can see the true color here. That's why we use flash. Sometimes though with orange, it actually, the ambient shot might look better, but 90% of the time the flash shot is going to be more true colors. Okay, so good. That looks good to me. And you can see I've got the issues here. I've got the overblown light. I had a light to my right. I have a light to my left. It's overblown there. I've got some glare on this hood. I've got some, I want to make this lighter under here. Fix this up a little bit. And most of all, though, I need to get light back in the great room, back in there. I mean, I could put a light to the left here and behind, maybe behind one of these pillars, and I'd have to light this hallway back there. But I don't want to do it because I can let the ambient do the heavy lifting. So I've prepped my flash shot and I've prepped my ambient shot, and that looks pretty darn good to me. Okay, good. I've examined it. I'm ready to bring it in as layers into Photoshop. So edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So let's now auto align layers. Okay, let's go auto align. And remember to do that for every image you do. Okay, because even a little bit of movement, you can see I've got that little border right there. It means it's out of alignment. So now I'm just going to make a layer mask. Okay, I'm not even going to go through it anymore. Now let's just take, I want to show you how quick and easy it is. Get rid of that. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. I kind of say boom, boom, boom when I'm doing it. It was kind of like Baum, or there was a chef, Emerald Lagasse, that would say bam. Anyway, let's bring this up a little bit. Let's get a little bit of exposure here. I'm going to widen this out and bring in a little bit of ambient here, a little bit there. Get that floor a little nicer. Back there. Okay, now let's hit the elephant in the room. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's just lighten that area up. Okay, and I'm only masking in the areas that I want. Now, one thing I will say, if you put a light back there, that's going to look a little better lighting. Like the white would be whiter back there, nicer, but at what cost? And this was a $3 million house, and I'm fine doing this procedure and delivering it just like this. Now I'm missing the window because I don't want to hit the window. I'm hitting the frame a little bit, and I'm just going to hit this left side a little bit. There we go. And you know what? You can look at this and scrutinize it, but don't get too bent out of shape because nobody's going to notice the imperfections but you. Let's see here now. Can I make that better? Nope, I can't. Let me try. I'm going to hit X to erase. So there we go. I'm going to erase a little bit of that ambient there. Okay, so you can go back and forth and adjust your images just fine. And down here, I'll show you what I did down here. Here is, I'm erasing it because I have my brush set to black. Now let's go to, I'm going to hit X and change it to white. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to make this a little bit lighter, and I like the color a little better. There you go. And let's look at it before. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think you get the point there. Okay, let's move on to another one. Yeah, let's do this image. This is another house. There's the final image. Okay. Now let's look at here what I did with the flash. So I don't have a flash in this back room, and I could use a little more light to the left. I have one speed light, I think. I think that's the only thing lighting this whole room. Okay, so I've got my flash image. Actually, you know what? I didn't do my full bump. Let's do the full bump. There we go. Okay. And I've still got that. Let me do a little bit more of that ceiling white in there. Let's do it again. I just want to get rid of that warm cast there. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, so I've got a fairly good foreground, although it's really hot. But I'm going to show you how the ambient will mellow it out, will help, will give light back here, take the shine off this wood, all kinds of stuff. It's also wonderful for ceiling fan shadows, you can see right there. So I'm identifying the issues. So the point is, you need to be thinking of your editing as you're setting up your shot. And when you take your flash shot, you've got to examine it. I use an iPad. I'm tethered so I can see, but you can see it on the back of your screen. But I can see issues like I know what I need now from the ambient shot while I'm on site, and I don't have to find it out when I get home. Okay, I'm going to do my yellow, ambient yellow out. I'm going to now, let's just bring down the exposure just a little bit, and I'm going to lighten up. I'm going to use my adjustment brush right here with a little bit of exposure. Yeah, about 3/4 of a stop. I'm going to make it a little larger back there. I'm just going to brighten up that room there. So I'm basically using this like a light. Okay. And if you wanted, you could, and now you may say, oh, that doesn't look really that good, but you're not going to notice it. The realtor or the client will not notice it. And for design shoots, it's a little different. Okay, so now I'm making it a little bluer, a little less warm. Now I'm going to do a new adjustment brush, and I want to do that ceiling white out there. And I'm just going to, there we go, get the red out there. Okay. So I've got that looking good. I've got that looking good. Now I'm on the ceiling white again. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm actually make my brush a little smaller. There we go. And I use this on ceilings all the time. It just really helps get that color in check. Get rid of some of that warm color cast from tungsten lights and cabinets and things like that. Okay, so I feel really good about this, and I'm going to highlight both of the images, and I'm just going to check before I leave. Flash shot, ambient shot, I can make this work. Okay, highlighted both of them, opening up as layers in Photoshop. And remember that the more you do this, the faster it will get. I can edit a photo in about a minute, 45 seconds, and then it just goes into Photoshop in 10 seconds and then opens up in layers, and I can do this fix. I'll show you how fast it is. I'm going to do it real time. Okay, I'm just going to auto align layers, which I've got automated too, so I've saved time there too. Okay. Okay, let's just do this really quick. Okay. Check my settings. I've got everything right. There you go. Get rid of that ceiling fan shadow. There we go. Get the ceiling nice and white. Get rid of that warmth there. Bring it down. Get a little bit of exposure in this back room. And again, it would look better if you were using lights, but at what cost? And for me, this technique has saved my sanity, my life, probably my marriage, because it gives me more time to not have to do the things I need to do. You know what I mean? Especially if you're learning this can be so beneficial. Okay. Now let's just look at it. Now, what did that take me? About 30 seconds, 45 seconds? There you go. Bam, done deal. Okay. I'm getting the impression that you're starting to see what's going on here. Okay, let's do this now. Here is the flash shot. I am going to now just make it a little poppier, a little better. I'm going to now bring down the exposure because it's just a little bright in the foreground. Okay, great. So that's ready to go. I need light in this hallway. I need light on the reverse of this mirror. I need light in this kitchen and a little light on the ceiling. So let's now go to the ambient shot. Okay, I'm going to use my ambient yellow out. Okay, now let's do some prep work. I'm going to use the ceiling white just for this door right here. And you know what? I could have probably not done the wall because the wall is probably off-white. So you can figure that out. Let's bring up this in here. Okay, now let's bring in a little more light. I'm making a bigger brush. A little more light back in here. There we go. A little bit of shadows there. Make it white. Okay, and that looks about right. Okay, so now let's just double check it. Okay, there we go. We got the crispness and sharpness of the flash shot, and the ambient shot is helping to add light to areas. Okay, edit here, do a really quick one. I'm really excited for 2021. I know that 2020 was kind of a bust. It was a better year than I thought it would be, but it is gangbusters in 2021 again for real estate. People are buying houses and they are really, really going after it. There we go. I always have to talk during these little breaks, just fill it in with blah, blah, blah. Anyway, okay, making a layer mask. I'm not even going to auto align it. Because I just want to save some time. So now let's just add some exposure in here. Let's go to that mirror. There we go. Let's get some shadows, and because I'm lighting from camera. And one thing you can try, and I'm getting light in this doorway. There we go. Okay. One thing you can try too is go over here, instead of normal mode, now go in and hit luminosity mode. And sometimes that works great, but the problem is when you use luminosity mode, sometimes an overexposed, where the flash is overexposed, it will cause its own color issues. So a lot of people ask, why don't I do luminosity mode? Well, I just don't like it because I usually, many times, 25–30% of the time, it doesn't work right for me. Okay, great. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you can internalize the concept of let the ambient do the heavy lifting, and you'll see why it will really help to speed things up and make your life a lot easier. I want to say thank you to Adorama for sponsoring my YouTube channel. Again, please use that affiliate link in the show notes because it helps motivate me to make these free tutorials for you. How great is that? I also want to say that I'm now providing a lot of coaching, private one-on-one coaching via Zoom because of COVID. I'm not doing any workshops. So if you need extra help and you really want to get some of these techniques like darken mode, ambient, let the ambient do the heavy lifting, things like that, send me a message at rich@richbaum.com and just say coaching information, and I'll get back to you really quickly and tell you all about it. So thanks a lot. Go out there and shoot better, shoot smarter, make more money, have more fun, spend more time with your family, whatever you want to do. And be safe out there in these times. And I want to thank you for stopping by again. See you later on the next tutorial.